welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving headfirst into something that's really got classic literature fans buzzing and, well, period drama enthusiasts basically on the edge of their seats. We've got a fascinating scoop here. It's from a July 29, 2025 Deadline article, all about a very highly anticipated new adaptation.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack it all. The creative vision, the key players, even some of those immediate, pretty passionate reactions to Netflix's big new Pride and Prejudice limited series.
Yeah.
You'll walk away, not just informed, but actually ready to jump into the debates that are definitely coming.
Absolutely. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how a story like Pride and Prejudice, so beloved, so timeless, just keeps finding new ways to connect with audiences generation after generation.
Exactly.
So we'll be looking closely at the specific choices they're making for this new version, sort of connecting the dots between the production details and what it might mean for everyone, the longtime fans and maybe newcomers, discovering Austen for the first time.
Okay, let's kick off with the big headline, the one that's really set the literary world talking. Netflix has officially given the green light. And they've assembled this really impressive cast for a new 6-part limited series of Pride and Prejudice. Production, we're hearing, has actually already started in the UK.
6 parts.
Yeah, 6-part limited series. That's intriguing. What kind of opportunities or maybe even, creative risks does that format bring for a story like this? Something a 2-hour movie just wouldn't have.
Oh, that's a really critical question. And it really boils down to narrative breathing room, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like one comment in our source material put it quite nicely, saying, this epic requires a lengthy exploration, not a 2-hour movie.
Makes sense.
So the obvious benefit is just having the space to let those intricate subplots, the subtle character stuff, and of course that slow burn between Elizabeth and Darcy, just let it unfold naturally.
Yeah, you need that time.
Exactly. You can develop minor characters more, dig into the social satire, build the world more carefully. The risk is keeping that momentum going across 6 whole hours. You have to make sure every episode feels necessary, that it doesn't, drag.
And the article, it specifically calls this a faithful adaptation of the novel. Now, that's a huge claim, isn't it, for a book that people feel so strongly about, like Pride and Prejudice?
It really is colossal, like you said.
When you hear faithful adaptation, what comes to mind? Like, what are some historical pitfalls or maybe successes we've seen? And what challenges might this team face in being truly faithful? Maybe faithful to the spirit, not just the exact words.
Yeah, you've hit on something really important there. Faithful can mean so many different things.
Right.
Is it word-for-word dialogue? Is it capturing the tone, the social commentary? Historically, some quote-unquote faithful adaptations have felt a bit stiff. Or maybe too reverent, and they miss that sparkle, that wit that makes Austen so engaging. Then others take liberties, which might upset some purists, but they capture the essence beautifully. So the challenge here, I think, will be to get that distinctive Austen wit and that social critique into a modern production. Make it feel fresh, relevant, but without losing the historical integrity of the Regency era. It's a balance.
Okay, well, a huge project like this definitely needs strong leadership.
Yeah.
So let's turn to the creative minds who are actually shaping this version of Austen's world. The series is written by Dolly Alderton and directed by Euros Lyn. Alderton, people probably know her for contemporary romance, sharp commentary on modern life, while Lyn has this really strong background in prestige TV drama. How do you think their different styles might mesh with, or maybe even challenge, the familiar Austen world?
That's a really interesting pairing to think about. Alderton's strength, it's in crafting that sharp, witty, often very relatable dialogue, right? Which could bring a really fresh, immediate feel to Austen's exchanges. The artistic tightrope, I suppose, will be infusing that modern sensibility without losing the specific rhythm and vocabulary of Regency speech.
Tricky.
And Lyn, with his experience on shows like, Sherlock or Doctor Who, big high production value stuff, he could really elevate the visual look, the grandeur, the emotional intensity, make sure it's not just a pretty costume drama, but something visually dynamic, emotionally resonant.
Sounds like a blend.
Yeah, it suggests they're aiming for both, I think. Authenticity and that contemporary appeal.
They're not just writing and directing, they're also executive producers, along with Emma Corrin, Laura Lancaster, Will Johnston, Louise Mutter for Lookout Point, and Lisa Osborne is producing. That's quite a team behind the scenes.
It really speaks volumes, doesn't it, about the level of commitment, the talent they're pulling together. Emma Corrin's involvement as an EP is particularly interesting, too.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, as an actor stepping into such a massive role, Elizabeth Bennet, they obviously have a really vested interest in how the series turns out, its impact. And their creative input, from an actor's viewpoint, could be genuinely invaluable.
Good point.
Plus, lookout point, they have a strong track record with quality drama, so their involvement suggests, a serious investment in the overall quality here.
Okay, so creative team looks solid. Now, all eyes inevitably turn to the cast.
Yeah.
People actually bringing these iconic characters to life. We already knew about Emma Corrin as Elizabeth Bennet, Jack Lowden as Mr. Darcy, and Olivia Colman as Mrs. Bennet. I mean, that alone is exciting.
Absolutely. Stellar names already.
But the newly added ensemble, that's where it gets really interesting. Now we have the full picture. Looking at this whole list, who are some of the standouts for you? Maybe someone bringing a fresh take, or who are you most looking forward to seeing?
Well, what jumps out immediately are some of the fresher faces in really iconic roles, like Freya Mavor as Jane Bennet. She seems like a great choice. That sort of ethereal quality, the kindness.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Rhea Norwood, who people know from Heartstopper, taking on Lydia Bennet, the really impulsive one. That's a fantastic chance to see a young actor known for contemporary stuff tackle a classic character.
Oh, interesting contrast.
And then you've got the genuine newcomers, Holly Avery and Hopi Parrish, making their debuts as Keaty and Mary Bennet. In fact, they're recent drama school graduates. Parrish from Manchester School of Acting, Avery from LAMDA just last year. It suggests they're really looking to nurture new talent too, which is always exciting on this scale.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just new talent, is it? We've got some seriously established names filling out this world too. Rufus Sewell as Mr. Bennet, that feels like perfect casting.
Oh, absolutely.
Louis Partridge as the charming but scheming Mr. Wickham.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Demetria as Mr. Collins. I can almost hear that awkward laugh already.
Right.
And the formidable Fiona Shaw as Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Yeah.
Wow. Plus, Daryl McCormack as Mr. Bingley. Sienna Kelly as his sister Caroline. I mean, the depth here, even in the supporting cast, seems really comprehensive. People like Anjana Bassan as Mrs. Gardner, Sebastian Romesto as Mr. Gardner.
It absolutely does. The sheer breadth of this cast list, right down to Colonel Forster, played by James Northcote, and Georgiana Darcy, Isabella Sermon, it really signals an ambition to capture the whole tapestry of Austen's world.
Which you need for 6 parts.
Exactly. It suggests they're not cutting corners on the ensemble, making sure every little interaction feels, fully realized.
So, to mark the start of filming, Netflix put out that first look photo, Mrs. Bennet and her 5 daughters. That's often the very first visual taste fans get, isn't it?
It is. It's a big moment.
Beyond just seeing who's playing who, what else do you think fans are looking for in that first picture? Is it costume accuracy, the overall look and feel, how they're posed together? What can one photo really tell us?
That's a great question, because a first look photo, it's more than just a picture, isn't it? It's a deliberate statement.
Right.
Fans are definitely scrutinizing the costumes, historical accuracy of the style, and the overall aesthetic, the lighting, the setting, the color palette. That all gives you a clue about the visual tone.
Right, the vibe.
But they're also looking at the dynamics. How are the characters posed? What are the expressions like, even subtle ones? It gives you an immediate hint about the relationships, the overall mood they're going for.
And did we get any sense of the reaction to that photo?
We did, actually. Our source mentions some immediate reactions, and interestingly, one anonymous comment brought up the casting ages. Someone suggested some characters might be too old for their parts, which predictably sparked a bit of a debate right away.
The age debate.
Yeah.
Always comes up with adaptations.
Always.
And I saw there was a counter argument pretty quickly, wasn't there? Someone pointing out the practicalities.
Exactly. Someone jumped in saying, look, child labor laws make it arduous to film with minors. They pointed out that the actress playing Georgiana, the youngest, is actually 19, and many of the other younger cast members are in their early 20s.
So realistically,
this commenter argued, it's quite well cast when you consider those very real production constraints.
yeah, that's a fair point. Often overlooked.
It really is. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it just highlights that constant negotiation you have in adaptations, right? Balancing faithfulness to the book with practical realities, maybe even modern sensibilities sometimes.
True.
And sometimes subtly adjusting ages might even open up different interpretations of motivations or power dynamics. It can make you look at the original text again in a new light.
And speaking of looking at things again, another commenter, Brett Dennis Flournoy, apparently expressed really high hopes, praised the 6-part format, but also directly compared it to what many people call the gold standard.
Ah, yes, the BBC version.
The early 90s BBC one.
Yeah.
Colin Firth, Jennifer L. The Andrew Davies adaptation, that's a massive shadow to step out from under.
It certainly is. That adaptation holds an almost sacred place for so many fans, doesn't it?
It really does.
So making that comparison immediately sets an incredibly high bar for this new Netflix series. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It shows the story's enduring appeal, but it's also a huge challenge for any new version to be different, yet still honor what made the previous ones so loved. It'll be fascinating, truly, to see how they navigate those expectations.
So there you have it. That's our fresh deep dive into Netflix's pretty ambitious new Pride and Prejudice series. We've seen the impressive cast taking shape, the creative team steering the ship, and those very first reactions bubbling up from the public. Already sparking debates about, well, everything from casting ages to faithfulness to those past gold standards.
Yeah, this deep dive really just underscores how personal these stories are, how cherished they become for audiences, the immediate comparisons, the passionate discussions about casting. It just highlights how deeply people connect with these narratives and these absolutely iconic characters.
Ultimately, this deep dive leaves us and you with a thought to ponder. With this full cast list out now, and the series aiming for that faithful adaptation tag while using new talent in this longer format, how will this new Pride and Prejudice manage the immense weight of expectation? How will it carve out its own unique, lasting mark on Jane Austen's timeless legacy?
We'll have to wait and see.
We certainly will, and we'll definitely